Hi everyone, Duke Danger here. Slight deviation on what I was going to do, which was talk about a couple of my favourite games. And I've recorded an individual video for all of them, but then realised I didn't really have much to say about them all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a list of my favourite games and briefly explain what I love about them and whether you should play them or not. I'd like to start things off with a game that everybody knows and everybody likes, the original Deus Ex. Just ignore the second one there. The original Deus Ex has a massive open world. You've probably played it before. I highly doubt that you haven't, but the original is far better than any of the others. Human Revolution was a bit of a throwback to the original, just as enjoyable but not as open. There weren't as many deviations you could make. I mean, if you went all stealth in Human Revolution, then you get fucked on the bosses, and that wasn't really much of an issue in this one. But yeah, I'd recommend getting that. You can pick it up for, I think it's £6 on Steam now. Second one, Jet Set Radio on the Dreamcast. A game in a very blatant cel-shaded style, where you are a graffiti artist who can somehow take back the streets using the spirit of the streets, also known as graffiti. Stupid story, but great fun and gameplay, which brings me nicely onto my third game, Jet Set Radio Future on the Xbox. It's essentially Jet Set Radio, but with a few beefed up mechanics. Spray painting is a bit easier, you don't have to rely on the left analog stick inputs that you did in the original. You can just right trigger, it makes everything a lot quicker and a lot smoother. So yes, if you were going to get either of those, I'd get Jet Set Radio Future, if only for the fact that Jet Set Radio, if you wanted a hard copy, is only available on Dreamcast. There is an Xbox edition on Xbox Live Arcade, but it's the same thing with slightly different controls, very slightly different controls, and a terrible HD upgrade, which seems to be par for the course in the past few years. But no, Jet Set Radio Future, you can get it on Xbox. I haven't actually checked how much it costs. I bought this back in 2006, I believe. But no, I'd give it a go. I'd pick it up on Xbox. Works on a 360, provided you have internet support. Gregory Horror Show on the PS2. A unique little game, and a game that I struggle to come up with anything for or against. You're basically a little kid who gets lost in the woods and finds his way to a hotel. The hotel owner, Gregory, wants to steal your soul and sell it to whoever, his mother, I believe, and your task is to walk around the hotel, learn all of the guest patterns, and then at their weakest point you can put a banana peel on the floor or something if you know that they're going to be running past at a certain time on a certain day, and then collecting their souls. There's a few really awesome bits in the game. The most awesome bit, I think, is trying to figure out how to solve the puzzles, because that's essentially what it is. It's a puzzle game. You have to work out who to fuck up and when, basically. And you do this by being a peeping Tom, hiding in people's wardrobes, under their beds, peeking through their keyholes, but be careful not to get caught. If you do get caught, they'll chase you, and if they catch you, you're subjected to what they call a horror show, which is just basically a little scene where you die in a variety of different ways. I think it's about a dozen ways you can die for a dozen different guests. The game's a little fucked up, to be honest, but it was based on a Japanese TV show, so that's probably to be expected. Yeah, I'd definitely give that a look in. You can pick it up for a £5. I'd get it second hand, because new it's £70, which is a bit much. I mean, I picked it up a month after its release and paid £4 for it. It didn't do too well, to be honest, but a unique game and one definitely worth picking up. How many are we on? Fifth game? Is one, again, everyone has probably played, and that's the original Half-Life. Excellent game. I think it's better than Half-Life 2, to be honest. There aren't as many locales as such, but still, I think the interactivity you get, watching scientists die is always hilarious, because they always die in a variety of hilarious ways, but really, it's probably one of the best shooters I've ever played, if a little derivative of every other standard FPS in terms of controls and mechanic, but in terms of story and gameplay, this is one of the best. And then we come to 6, No More Heroes 1 and 2, because they're essentially the same game. No More Heroes 2 is better, probably. No More Heroes 1, for whatever reason in this country, England, was censored, but No More Heroes 2 isn't. The problem with the censoring in this is that everyone turns to dust, which doesn't really explain how they all survive and come back to kill you in No More Heroes 2, sometimes in half. It's a little stupid, maybe. You do these stupid little side missions. The ones in No More Heroes 2 are very annoying. They're based on older 8-bit or 16-bit console games from the NES era. Apart from that, it's great. It really is a great game, and I would heartily recommend it. No More Heroes 1 has the side missions as well, but they're a bit better, because you can just go and kill a load of people, so it's like... And a lot of people complain about them, but that's all you do in the game anyway, so I'm not sure what there is to complain about there. This one, the first one, also has an open hub, whereby you get on your bike that's heavily based on the DeLorean, from the look of it, from Back to the Future fame, and ride around, pick up shirts, pick up money, do jobs, shit like that. But no, I'd definitely give those to a look if you have a Wii. I believe they're also available on PS3, so you might want to get them on there as well. So yeah, I'd get those. The last one I want to talk about is a game that I'd never heard of before until it came up on offer on Steam last year sometime. Painkiller Black Edition. A game that is basically a hark back to the days when shooters weren't takey, cover, shooty, ducky, runny, rejuvenatey. You're basically Heaven's hitman, and you have to walk through hell, killing peeps and taking out Satan's generals, I believe. A great game full of great fun and some very phallic weaponry, including a stake gun where you can fire a huge shaft of wood at people and pin them to walls with the almighty shaft. If that's not Freudian, I don't know what is. But yeah, that's a rundown of all my favourite games at the minute. That'll probably change again in a week. I'm a bit fickle, but yeah, it's these games. I'd happily recommend all of them, with the exception of maybe the original Jet Set Radio. Just get Jet Set Radio Future. It's not a follow-on of the story. It's just an updated version with much better graphics, mechanics. Definitely get Gregory Horror Show. If you don't have a PS2, you can pick one up for like 10 quid. Half-Life, you've probably already played. The one I'd recommend most, probably, is actually Jet Set Radio Future or Gregory Horror Show. I'm a bit undecided between both of those because they're so unusual compared to most games that you'll play these days. Well, that beefed up the video length a bit. When I recorded a video for each of these, they were all like 1.5 minutes long. So yeah, brief rundown. I will be uploading again next week, as promised. I'm uploading today because I'm at the hospital again tomorrow, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and don't hesitate to subscribe. I've been told I need to say that more in my videos, so subscribe, and that should make it up for the previous videos where I didn't bother. Yeah, everyone have a good day, and buy these games. All of them, if you can afford it. You probably can. They're all like a couple quid each. Anyway, G Danger. Out.